Thanks for watching Ben Television. The program is You Decide. My name is Shegun Johnson. I'm so glad you are watching. Now that football is outside of our discussion, Nigerians said they will now focus on what has been going on in the last 1 week, the denials, the derailings, and killings of innocent souls in Plateau State. It's so interesting that at this time we have one of us who has traveled far and wide trying to have understanding. I'm talking of no other person but the indefatigable Reno Omokri, an author, in fact, the best-selling author in recent times, and he has also published a very new book on Leah Sharif. Many of these we'll be talking about, but welcome with me into the studio, Reno Omokri. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Shegun. Thank you for having me.
Oh, no, it's a pleasure to have you. Now, we're not discussing football at all. It's come, it's gone, so let's leave it at that. 2019 is what everybody is saying in Nigeria. And if I'm correct, the last analysis shows that Buhari is the only candidate that appears to be moving forward. PDP has no candidates as far as we know, but we know that there are other younger ones coming up. Let's first of all talk about the situation, the security situation in Nigeria before we come to the politics. Buhari and APC said they would be in charge of the security of Nigeria when they came in at the beginning. So far, so bad. What do you think are the challenges that Buhari is facing, or is it part of the problem?
Well, President Muhammadu Buhari is a hypocrite, and he is part of the problem, definitely. If you want the security challenges in Nigeria to be resolved, you've got to vote Buhari out. Look, I'll give you a very good example. I'm going to read to you right now a tweet that President Muhammadu Buhari made. Now, this tweet was tweeted by President Muhammadu Buhari on the 13th of January, 2015, while he was a candidate. Now, this is what he says. "We cannot be the country that loses the essence of our humanity, the meaning of empathy. Nigerians are dying every day due to incompetence." Now, when he said that, Nigerians, yes, there were deaths. Now, the deaths have increased. Now, he called Jonathan incompetent. Now, what will you call President Muhammadu Buhari? In the first 10 weeks of this year, Afghanistan is a war-torn country, officially at war. 753 people died in Afghanistan. Go check it out on the World Terrorism Index. In the first 10 weeks of this year, 1,353 people, that's 1,253 people died in Nigeria from terrorism. Yet Nigeria is officially at peace. This man is completely inept. He sold a dummy to the Nigerian people. He told them that as a former general, he has security background. He has a security background. Look at what he did. His first act was to become the Minister of Petroleum, because that's where the money is, not even the Minister of Defense. Obasanjo was his own Minister of Defense. And look at what's happening in the Ministry of Petroleum that is there. Corruption all the way, $25 billion awarded, $25 billion contract awarded without due process. Now, Nigerians are dying and dying like flies, and this man is doing nothing, blaming the opposition. They released a statement last week saying that the opposition was behind the headsman killing. As a leader, do you blame or do you take responsibility?
No, they said the politicians, he said politicians are desperately using the occasion.
No, that's the statement he released 2 days ago. I'm talking about the statement he released last week, where he said that the opposition, don't forget, this man, he governs by statements. He released a statement last week. You know, I deal in facts only. I don't deal in speculation. He released a statement last week saying that opposition politicians are behind the killings. Then his spokesman, Garba Shehu, released a statement 2 days ago saying that desperate politicians... Now, just look at the statement that was released 2 days ago.
Yeah.
12 hours after the incidents, after the killings of 150 people in Plateau, Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association, the chairman of Miyetti Cattle, he released a statement saying that the killings were by the headsmen as revenge, as vengeance, retaliation for the killings by the Biron people of 300 of their cows. Now, 8 hours after that Miyetti Allah statement, the presidency released their own statement saying that the killings, they absolved Miyetti Allah that had claimed responsibility for the killings. They absolved them and said that the killings was caused by desperate politicians. Now you can see that these people, They will continue to blame. They do not have any solutions to Nigeria's problems. They have failed in the economy. 10 million Nigerians have lost their jobs under Buhari. Now, this is not my opinion. This is the opinion, sorry, this is the fact given by the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, owned and managed by the Buhari administration.
10 million.
10 million. Now listen to this. In February, Nigeria overtook India as the country with the most out-of-school children population in the world. India has 8 times our population. Now, last week, Nigeria now overtook India again as the country that has the most people in extreme poverty. India has a population of 1.2 billion. Nigeria has a population of 198 million. How can we have more people in extreme poverty in Nigeria than in India? Ask yourself this question.
Let's zero in on these Plateau killings, because it appears that they don't have a godfather. And I've never been particularly impressed by the Plateau State governor, because he appears to me someone who is just dancing to Abuja's ideas. And he's the one saying, I told Benue State never to make this anti-cattle ranching policy and all the rest, and yet they are killing his people, and he appears to be interested in Vice President Oshibajo coming there, President Buhari coming. That's what he's interested. He's not particularly interested in doing something to curtail. What do you think of this Plateau killing? Should we first of all be saying sorry for those people, the families that have lost people? What should we be saying to those people now?
You know, I mean, for instance, I'll tell you something. President Muhammadu Buhari said today that, yesterday, because I'm still in US time, that those behind restructuring are pursuing restructuring for their own selfish interests. Now, this is what we've been saying, that when Nigeria needs to be restructured, we need state police. You can't have a governor that says that he's a chief security officer of his state, and he doesn't have any powers over the police. He cannot do anything. Gabriel Suswan was governor of Benue State, and when headsmen were killing in Benue, he went there, and the headsmen overpowered his own security, and he had to escape. Now, this is a governor. Now, I'll tell you something.
Is that the one who has been
arrested?
Yeah,
who has been arrested. I'll tell you something. February 11, Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State laughed, mocked the governor, Governor Samuel Ortham of Benue State, and said that I advised Governor Samuel Ortham not to pass the anti-grazing bill, and that he said the anti-grazing bill is the cause of the killings of 73 people on January New Year's Day in Benue State. Now, he doesn't have any anti-grazing bill, and they have killed twice the number that they killed in Benue. So what is the cause of his own killings? You can see the intellectual laziness in these people. You see, you cannot imagine that a governor like Simon Lalong is saying that he has faith in President Muhammadu Buhari to fish out the killers. Over 3,500 people have been killed in a space of 2 years. Have they fished out the killers of these people? Now, we know that the past is the best indicator of the future. If they have not fished out the perpetrators, the killers of those people, and then how can you say you have faith? Just recently, a government that has not been able to arrest, try, and convict these headsmen. Recently, they convicted 5 Christians in Adamawa State for killing the headsman, one headsman, in retaliation because that particular headsman and others went to their village and killed 48 people. They were able to convict in record-breaking speed these 5 Christians. 2 years ago, in 2016, in Kano, an evangelist, her name is Bridget Agbahime, was beheaded openly in public. 5 people were arrested. Last year, the Kano State Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice, he withdrew the case against those 5 people, and they are walking around scot-free. I'm asking you, Dr. Shegun Johnson, which headsman has been convicted for all the killings in Nigeria?
Not any that I know. But is what T.Y. Danjuma, what he's saying, is it that correct? That, look, you guys in Taraba, you better arm yourself. Is that the only way to go now?
T.Y. Danjuma never said you better arm yourself. Let's quote him correctly, because T.Y. Danjuma is a patriot. What he said is that defend yourself. He didn't say arm yourself. That's going to be illegal. He said defend yourself. And if you don't defend yourself, you will all die one by one. He said that the armed forces are colluding with these armed bandits. They facilitate their movements. That's what he said. So how
do you defend yourself against AK-47?
Well, that's the thing, you know. Now it's up to you to interpret it how you want to interpret it. But I'm going to tell you something. You know, I'm not going to be in a position whereby my wife and my children, my parents are being, are under threat by Boko Haram, and then I will have confidence in a Muhammadu Buhari who was a former grand patron of these same herdsmen to protect me. A man who has not arrested one of them, but yet he was able to fish out and arrest a man in Oyo, no, I think it was in Shagamu, who called his dog Buhari. That man who called his dog Buhari, Otta, was arrested in record-breaking speed. Now, he's not able to get any of these headsmen. How will I place... Look, I'm telling you, Nigerians, I'm looking you straight in the eye. The first thing to do, if you want this headsman crisis to stop, is to vote against Muhammadu Buhari in 2019. Otherwise, look at what T.Y. Danjuma said. You will all die one by one.
Okay. Would you like to take questions from our audience?
Oh, definitely, definitely.
We are asking you to call in. The telephone number would be on the screen. You are free to agree with Reno. You are free to disagree with Reno. Just make sure you are armed with facts, or you can email us, nigeriansdecide@yahoo.com. I'll be in a position to read your email, nigeriansdecide@yahoo.com. Let's come to basics. The trouble in the Middle Belt, all these killings in Zamfara, Taraba, Adamawa, northeastern part, Middle Belt, Bauchi, Plateau. Some people claim that is for Fulani nationalism, that they're trying to create a Fulani nation, and that Nigeria has been given to them, and they're calling on all Fulanis all over Africa to come and help them create a Fulani nation. How far do you think this position is true?
Well, you know, I deal in facts, I don't deal in fiction. I'm notorious for dealing in facts. So I cannot really opine on something that I don't have the facts about. Okay. But what I'll tell you, January 3rd, 2018, the Ghanaian president gave a shoot-at-sight order to his police and said, shoot at any headsmen that are killing people and destroying people's farms. Now, in Ghana, they do not have a headsman crisis. As a matter of fact, if you go on YouTube, I'm telling you now, just do this. Go on YouTube. You will see a video of the head of police in Ghana telling his people, do the headsmen, do they know how to shoot better than us? And then they gave them a shoot-at-sight order. Now, I'll tell you something. Now, listen to what I'm going to say. This is very important. On the day that the 73 victims of the Benue mass killings were buried, the very next day, 7 APC governors, led by Malam Nasir El-Rufai, went and endorsed President Muhammadu Buhari at the presidential villa for a second term. How insensitive is that?
But how about that with a parallel of this last Saturday and Sunday?
No, I'm not done. Allow me.
Okay.
I'm not done. Okay. I'm not done. Allow me. Now, on the day that armed bandits killed 48 people in Zamfara, on the day that they killed 40 people in Zamfara, 18 APC governors went to Daura to endorse Muhammadu Buhari for a second term. Not on the next day, not on the day before, on that same day. On that same day. Now, on this Sunday, when 150 or there, but some people say it's 200, so we really don't know.
I will even call it 300, and I have my reason.
Okay, well, on the day that hundreds of people were killed, this was on Sunday in Plateau State, Muhammadu Buhari and the APC governors can be seen on video. As a matter of fact, I have the video. They were dancing. They were dancing to Kwamwan. They were dancing. Now, immediately after this incident happened, they went about and they were whining and dining. And this is the man that you're expecting to protect you? This man, look, let me tell you something. Muhammadu Buhari is not interested in securing Nigeria. He is only interested in securing his second term.
Okay, Osinbajo has gone to Plateau to go and commiserate and he didn't actually apologize. And I want to be put on record that Osinbajo tried to apologize, but he did not. He said on behalf of federal government and on behalf of Nigerians, actually, there are some other things I would like to say. And then he never did that apology. Anybody can quote me. We just want to see, why will the president and vice president go to Plateau State? Of course, the president even branched at Cross River.
No. It was Plateau that he branched at. It was Cross River was his destination. He was going to build Cross River. The PDP released a statement. Go and I deal in facts. I don't deal in fiction.
Make it plain to Nigerians.
The PDP released a statement and told him that it was insensitive of him to go to Cross River when over 150 of his people had been killed, and said that he must go to Plateau. Plateau was not on his agenda. It was after the PDP released the statement that he now released a statement that said, okay, I will also, look at the word, also go to Plateau. Plateau was not on his agenda.
Yes, please feel free to call us because you may have questions for Reno, and you can email us, nigeriansdecide@yahoo.com, and I'm sure to read your email because we want you to interact. Let's talk about economy. Now President Buhari wants to come back. What will you say has been his achievement in the last 3 years, so that those who still, because there are some diehard Buhari-dins, nothing, as far as it's concerned, is done very well. And that includes Tinubu, that includes Oshiomhole, and all the rest. So what was the assessment of his economic policies?
President Muhammadu Buhari is a chronic liar, and you know I trended virally throughout Nigeria on May 29 because I exposed 20 lies in his Democracy Day speech. 20 lies. I think he holds the Guinness Book of Records for most lies told in a 10-minute period. Now I'll tell you something. President Muhammadu Buhari promised on record, verbally, there are videos of it being promising it. It was also in the APC manifesto. He said that he was going to provide 3 million jobs to Nigerians every year. Well, the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, which is owned and managed by the federal government, whom Buhari heads that government, said 10 million Nigerians have lost their jobs under Buhari. So that means 3 million per year. Now, these were not jobs that Muhammadu Buhari created. These were jobs that were created by former President Jonathan and former President Olusegun Obasanjo. Now, Muhammadu Buhari said that he was going to provide 24-hour uninterrupted electricity. I mean, there are billboards to that effect. Or at least he also said verbally that he was going to improve electricity. And he lied during his Democracy Day speech and said that Nigeria is now generating electricity at unprecedented levels. Look, that's not true. I think it was the NERC, they just released a statement. And don't take my word for it. Google it right now. Nigeria is now producing electricity at an abysmal level that we are about to face a nationwide blackout. A nationwide blackout. Yeah. Now, he also promised that he was going to make the naira equivalent to the dollar. He actually made that promise at Enugu. He made that promise because, you know, I did, in fact. Right now, as I speak to you, the naira is 365 naira to the dollar. That means 1 naira for every day of the year. It's actually, look, the APC, they had a very popular picture during the campaign. They said, like, is 216 naira to the dollar good enough? Get rid of Jonathan. Okay, now I'm asking that same question that the APC asked. Is 365 naira to the dollar good enough? Get rid of Muhammadu Buhari. He's inept.
Okay, let's talk about agriculture. Yeah. Some will say that he has done very well, that they can now buy Nigerian rice. And you see the advert, chocolate Nigerian rice, chop Nigerian rice. So what will you say to that?
That is a big lie. These people, they deal in propaganda. It's a big lie. Look, don't take my word for it. Google it. The Nigerian Minister of Agriculture under President Jonathan, Akinwumi, who is now the president of the African Development Bank. Look, he received an award from that award is called the equivalent of the Nobel Peace Prize in Agriculture for his agricultural revolution in Nigeria through the e-wallet system, whereby Nigeria, for the first time, was reducing her rice imports. What the Muhammadu Buhari administration has done, which they are now deceiving people that that they've done something, is that they have closed the land border so that you cannot bring in rice into the country. They've closed the land border. And so what's happening in Nigeria right now is that there is a lot of smuggling, serious smuggling going on. This man has not done anything in agriculture. Look, when you're talking about facts, how much is Nigeria spending on her food import bill? Compare it to how much we were spending under Jonathan. So those are the facts. And
secondly, you don't like to eat Nigerian rice with Nigerian blood. We can't be killing people and be saying eat Nigerian rice. Are we cooking it with the Nigerian blood?
Look,
I think the federal government should answer that
Look,
question.
let me tell you. Let me hazard an answer to that question. Muhammadu Buhari, 3 months ago, right here in London, yesterday, as you know, I was with Dr. Liam Fox, the British Minister for International Development, and I asked him a question. It's on camera. It's actually on my Facebook page, because I had a meeting with him and Stephen Harper, the immediate past Canadian Prime Minister, and he talked to me about when Muhammadu Buhari was at the Commonwealth Summit. It's actually there on video. Muhammadu Buhari at that summit called Nigerian youths lazy and uneducated. That is on video. I'm quoting him. He called them lazy. He said Nigerian youths should go to farm. Now, I'm asking you a question. You ask Nigerian youths to go to the farm. What's waiting for them in the farm? Fulani headsmen will go to the farm and kill them at the farms. So are you asking your youths to go and commit suicide? And
then secondly, if these cows continue to destroy all the crops, Nigeria will soon experience some farming, won't they? Because there's no farming is going on in those places.
Wait. You are saying that Nigeria will soon experience some farming. Did I not just tell you that according to the World Economic Forum, last week, Nigeria overtook India as the #1 country in the whole world with the highest number of extremely poor people?
Okay, but you are ready to answer questions.
Oh, yes, I'm ready.
I have one for you. This is from Dr. Kola. Mr. Omokri, good morning. You are part of the problems of Nigeria because people like you are dividing the nation. Why is a young man like yourself continue to see Nigeria through the ethnicity lens? With people like you and your former boss, unfortunately, Nigerians will never have peace. You all should go away and spend your looted money and stop putting kerosene on fire. That's from one view. So do you want to reply to that?
Oh, well, I've been in Nigeria twice under the Muhammadu Buhari administration. I went in February 2016 to open an orphanage that God helped me to build, and I went again in August 2016 for my mother's 80th birthday. If I had looted funds, then the Muhammadu Buhari, I'm the #1 opposition voice in Nigeria. I'm this #1 critic. Muhammadu Buhari would arrest me faster than you can say James Robinson, but he did not arrest me. So look, I have a #1 best-selling book. I made a fortune for my book. I have another book about to come out.
Yes, tell us about that book.
Well, the title of the book is Leah Sheribu, the girl that Boko Haram left behind. Yeah. Now, so I mean, like, it's intellectual laziness to call me a looter. I mean, I never looted. You know, I come from a well-to-do family. You go back and check my pedigree. I come from a well-to-do family. I live in the United States. I first started living in the United States in 1983 when I was 9 years old. I was a vice president of a political consulting firm in the U.S. before I was invited by President Jonathan back to Nigeria.
What did you study?
I read law in this country. I worked in the British Parliament. So, I mean, I do not need to steal.
All right. Time is not on our side for this segment. But when we come back, I want to ask you serious questions about young entrance into politics. Okay. The young is not too young to run, or how do they say it?
Not too young to run.
Not too young to run, but too run too young. We'll be back. Don't go away.